everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we'll be taking a look at the DXS06 H5 Hayabusa from Shinkansen, Henkei, Robo, Shinkalion, the animation. So, as you're probably noticing, this is very similar to the E5. So much so that in the review I did of the E5, the DXS01, I compared it to an old version of the H5 because I literally couldn't tell how different they were because that's how similar they are. They're both primarily green and white in color scheme, while the E5 has a pink stripe, the H5 has a purple stripe, and the H5 has kind of a white crown here that the E5 does not. The accessories are also kind of an orange color as opposed to the kind of purpley color. Kind of the main differences, but it's still neat. It is a separate character on the show. It has a driver you can see right here. It does come with its own card for the Shinka gear, so of course we'll take a look at all that. I don't know. I wasn't going to get this one originally, but then on HLJ they only had like 2 left in stock, and so I panicked and I ordered it. At least I can say I have all of them now. So here is a cool picture of the H5 on the side. Taking a look at the back. You can see the train, the robot. So you can see the sword here is kind of a gray with orange blade as opposed to the gray with pink blade, which is very similar for the wing pieces as well. They're orange instead of pink. Here's everything included. Here is the Shinka gear, and then it shows it combining with the E7. I'm not going to show the combination just because I feel like at this point you guys have seen it. They're all the same as far as how they combine, so you can just mix and match with as many different ones as you have, all the different possible combinations. But, you know, it's the same way they transform. You just unplug the torso from the legs, and then you can mix and match tops and bottoms. So, there you go. Bottom, pretty much the same picture as the top. Actually, I'm wrong. This is the animated model, and this is the toy itself. So I am wrong. Don't listen to me on that one issue. Here on the side shows how it transforms, and then another picture from the cartoon. So very cool. I'm going to go ahead, get this guy out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is everything you get in the box. Here is the train itself. The accessories are in the center section of the train. We'll get there in a minute. And then here is the Shinka card. It is a nice orange color, matches the accessories. Here's a picture of the robot head. The stickers do come with a different inside part of the card with the pilot instead of the robot head. So if you prefer to have a picture of the pilot, you could put that sticker over top of this one. I wish they gave you like 2 cards, because I do like the sticker, but I don't want to replace this sticker. So I wish they kind of gave you a second card so you could have one of each, but what are you going to do? Here's the back of the card, not too much going on there. We'll take a closer look at this a little bit later on when we bring in the Shinka gear. So for now, we're going to just take a look at the train itself. Like I said, very similar to the E5. Pretty much the same color scheme, just has the purple stripe instead of the pink stripe. But I like it. I mean, the purple stripe is kind of sharp, goes well with the mint green coloring on top, so I kind of like that a lot. Rolls pretty well. Obviously, this is meant to work with the plow rail system. I do not have any track for that, but it will fit in there perfectly and go around. And if you have the motorized section, you can put that in the middle here, and then this guy will move around on his own. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to take the 3 cars apart, and this connection always worries me. It's just really tight on there, and I can't ever get it off, and I feel like I'm going to break it. Always makes me nervous. This one's not as bad. So this is the center car. You can see if you have the motorized section, what you would do is open this up, and these pieces actually come off. And then you would plug this onto the motorized section and then close it up. And then the switch goes in this slot here, so that's how you turn it on and off. And then that's what powers the train to go around. But normally you just open this up and we have accessories inside. So these 2 will become wing pieces, which go in the back in robot mode. And then this section becomes a sword. Very similar to the E5 sword. E5, this part is pink, but this part is the same color. So we'll put all these accessories off to the side. Here's the crown, which you would use for the cross gatai, but we won't be taking a look at that, but I'll at least show you the crown. It looks pretty cool. Almost kind of looks like the head of a dragon there on the front. And then that just, you can see the track right here and here, and that just slides onto the head of the Shinkalion, whichever one becomes the torso section. Otherwise, you just slide it in right here, and it stores very nicely in this section. So close that up. And there you go. We'll put that off to the side. Here are the two trains. You can see the tops are different. You have some yellow spots here. You have some red spots here. I believe they're lights. And you can also see that this has the same front section as the E5 for the Grand Cross. But the H5 does not use that on the show. So that's just because it's the same mold. So what are you going to do? But yeah, you can see the two sections here are pretty similar, but you can tell them apart enough. This is going to be the legs. This is going to be the torso. So let's go ahead and get into the transformation. Alright, so we'll start with the legs. Put this part off to the side for a moment. Going to kind of just put your nail in here. And break this apart. There we go. I swear I can do it. There we go. Okay, bring these down. And you can see that there's a joint. It comes down and then folds in like that. Next, you're going to fold up these tabs here on the side. Then you're going to split the legs apart. And then kick it forward and then bring it down. And that's going to form the kneecaps. At this point, you take this white connector and you just click it back like that. Then you're going to take the foot here and bend this back. You'll hear it snap into place. That was the knee, but it does snap into place right here. Then you're going to bring this whole section forward and it snaps into place again. And the cool thing is when you do that, it makes this panel on the front slide up. So we'll take a look at that again. So this goes down, snaps into place, and then this whole section, and you can see the slide right here, will slide up and then snap into place. And then you have some ankle tilt side to side. So that is pretty much the bottom portion of the robot. You're going to have two knee joints, and then you have that ankle tilt from side to side, which I appreciate. These you can just kind of angle however you want. You can tilt them back, you can keep them straight up and down, you can tilt them a little forward. I kind of like to tilt them a little forward, but again, you can do whatever you like. So put that off to the side. Bring in the top section. This is going to split apart in the back and then kind of accordion out. Now before you bring it in, you need to pull the arm section down and then you twist it at the bicep, bring it down. This connector piece will actually fold down into the arm and kind of snap. Doesn't 100% stay in place, but it stays in pretty well. And then you can see the connector section right there, and there's a tab right there. So you just bring this in, and then that snaps in, and then flip out the fist. So we're going to repeat all those steps on this side. Bring this around, bring down the arm, swivel, peg it in, pop out the fist. Now at this point, we're going to bring these wheels in the back out. This section here is going to become the torso. So that'll come down. Now as soon as we do that, this section will slide forward like that. And then you can press this button here and the head pops out. And then click that into place. Then you bring the head just a little bit forward on the ball joint to kind of straighten it out. And then you pop forward this horn on the top. And there's your torso, so that's all that's left. You can see this connection spot right here, and you can see that on top of the legs. You just clip them together. And there you go. You have your H5 Robo mode. Now at this point you can bring in your sword. Give him the sword. Come around to the back. Get these wings. You can see the peg right there. There's a couple of peg holes on the back. I believe you're supposed to peg it in right here. And also this section here needs to rotate back down. I always forget to do that. And then peg that in there. So there you go. Now with these, I mean, that's what I think they suggest, because that's kind of where he wears them on the show. If you really wanted to, you could put them on the back here. I think that looks a little weird. But what I do like to do is put them on the arms, and he can kind of use them as blades. So like if you put this on this forearm, you could kind of use them as blades, which I think looks pretty cool. Like a Wolverine type thing going on. So that's neat. If you really wanted, you could even peg them up top. They're a little loose in those holes, but they peg in. So basically all the peg holes are the same. So you can go ahead and pop those in. The other thing you can do, you can see that there is a peg on the side of the sword. And there's two peg holes here on the back. So I kind of like to pop this on here. So it's kind of like she's wearing the sword on the back. I think that looks pretty cool. So that is the H5 in robot mode. Like I said, if you wanted to do the Link Gatai, all you would do is pop it apart at the waist and the torso, like when we last step we did to transform it into robot mode, and then you can just mix and match with all the other ones that you have. So it's a very cool robot mode. I like it quite a bit. It is very similar to the H5. I'm sorry, the E5. This is the H5. Again, pink stripe instead of purple, and this crown area here is not white. So pretty much the only difference, and the accessories, of course. But it's a very cool robot mode. I mean, if you like the E5, you can't not like the H5, right? So for the completionists out there, I can understand how you might want to pass on this one if you're a casual collector, but if you're a completionist like me, you want to grab this guy, even though you already have the E5. I mean, it's a great toy. Great figure. I guess I should go through all the articulation. Head has a ball joint, so it goes side to side, front to back. You have a nice tight ratchet there in the shoulder, in and out in the shoulder, bicep swivel movement there at the elbow. Nothing in the wrist because it folds out of the forearm. No articulation in the hip. They just kind of pop out as part of the transformation. Two joints in the knee, and then an ankle play I talked about earlier. So you just a little bit of play there, move back and forth. So yeah, overall, I really like this figure a lot. It's as good as the E5 because it's basically the same mold. So if you want a slightly different version of the E5, then this one is for you. But it is a character on the show, so they do both appear on the show. So it's kind of like back in the day with Transformers where you get Prowl and Blue Streak. Same toy, just slightly, you know, colored differently, and they are two different characters on the show. So I think it's worth having. It's definitely a great toy. It's a great figure, great transformation. Let's go ahead and check out the Shinka card. Alright, so here is the Shinka gear. Here is the pass holder. Take the card, pop it in, and then we go ahead and feed this into the side. So there you go, you get the H5 Hayabusa. We'll do the final attack. So she's got the Kaizatsu sword, basically the same as the E5, but she doesn't have the Grand Cross. So now if we take this out, you can also do some other things that the Shinka gear does. So it says it's bound for Tokyo. So that's the sound of it just kind of traveling a little bit faster. Sorry, I just want to play the jingle again because I really like it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's basically it for the Shinka card and the Shinka gear. So the only complaint about this toy is that it looks very similar to a toy you may already have. If you judge it completely on its own, it's a great toy, great transformation, great posability, great accessories, great paint job. The Shinka card comes with it is great. Fun sounds out of the Shinka gear. It's a fun toy. Now, I can understand how some people might want to pass on it because it's very similar to the E5, which I'm sure a lot of people who are fans of this toy line already have. And that is true, but like I said, other toy lines have been doing this forever. Like I used Transformers as a perfect example. That original G1 toy line used to do this kind of stuff all the time. Now, to be fair, those toy lines, or I'm sorry, those figures were usually a little more differently painted than this one is from the E5, but it's still a great toy on its own. So I think it's worth it. Definitely a great toy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm just saying the same thing over and over again at this point. So let me know what you think. Please comment below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.